What's going on, guys? It's your boy T back with another college video. Today, guys, we're going to take a little look as to why I think I got rejected from every Ivy I applied to. We're going to take a quick look at my common application throughout this process. Hopefully this helps you guys understand how to not get into these schools and what not to do, I suppose, and really why I didn't get in from my perspective. Let's start off with Harvard here. So, throughout this whole process, I'll preface it with saying that I sold myself as somewhat of a budding entrepreneur to all of the Ivy schools. I emphasized the fact that I wrote and sold a book, started several businesses throughout my high school career, was very involved in FBLA, my investing club, and other entrepreneurial activities as well as other political activities, but mostly entrepreneurship was my competitive advantage, if you will. And here's where I think I actually kind of went wrong, guys. There's 10 activities here that you can add. 10 activities you can add. And I don't think I should have used all 10 of them. For the first one, you'll see I used founded multiple businesses. FBLA, good. This is all relating to my competitive niche, if you will. It's all relative to what I'm trying to sell to them. Until we get to activity 6, philosophy club, straying from my entrepreneurship niche, mock trial, straying, class president, politics and all that, it's straying, more politics. Guys, I really think we have to be smart when you're applying to these upper tier schools, not to exclude the activities you worked on so hard throughout your high school career, but rather to be strategic in regards to which activities you do include, in that they need to be all related to your competitive advantage, your niche, whatever the function you seem to be selling to these schools. In my case, I was selling a young entrepreneur, an aspiring business mogul. That's how I would fit into their school and contribute towards their diversity. But if you're all over the place and you're perfectly well-rounded, I don't think they're going to want you guys. Unless you're Isaac Newton or Stephen Hawking, I don't think they have a place for you. Of course, these schools want diversity, but that diversity is composed of individual uniqueness, if you will, in whatever niche you've involved yourself in throughout high school. And so that's where I think I went wrong a little bit. I should have focused more on business, just went straight all into business. I think if I specialized a little more, would have been more compelling as an applicant. If I go to writing, and my writing was pseudo anti-education, I'm not going to lie. And it was a little too philosophical, I think. It's called Selfish, blah, blah. It was kind of dancing around the question. Regardless, I would just use the essay, looking back at it, as an opportunity to emphasize whatever niche you're involved in and whatever you're trying to sell to the colleges. I would literally have just written an essay to the best of my ability that related to my interests in entrepreneurship. That was possible. And I would have emphasized that further while showing intellectual capabilities and the ability to read and write. But I would have tried to further emphasize who I was, what I'm interested in, and what I seek to accomplish at their school. I think I got a little too philosophical and tried to be overly intellectual on this whole process. And to clarify, guys, I was denied from Columbia, Cornell, Harvard, Princeton, Stanford, deferred to UChicago. I meant waitlisted, denied from UPenn, denied from Yale. And so I think that was kind of the running theme. My academic scores being my SAT was 1510. My GPA was a 4.67 weighted throughout high school. My SAT may have been towards the lower range of the applicant pool. If it was higher, that probably would have helped. However, in the end, I don't really think that would have made the deciding difference. I really think that if you position yourself in a particular niche and you develop a competitive advantage within that niche, as in a particular skill set that sets you apart from the other candidates, I think that'll elevate you to the Ivy League, the Ivy tier status, assuming you're not an athlete or a musician and you're going to school on the basis of those qualities. Musician might be a little different, but athlete for sure. If you're trying to get in there as a regular student, you need to prove yourself in a particular niche and you need to stick with it. So if you're a freshman, this should be very easy. You guys can totally figure this out in 4 years. About to sneeze, I apologize. But if you're a senior, then you need to be strategic about which activities you advertise on your Common App, and allergies. And don't be afraid to omit the activities that don't relate to your competitive advantage, your niche. For instance, I completely omitted my involvement in Key Club, a community service organization, because first of all, I hated it. Second of all, it was not at all related to the entrepreneurship niche I was trying to advertise myself as, and I wasn't fully invested into that activity. And if you're half-assing a lot of these things, you shouldn't put them in your application, and you shouldn't try to sell those off to the Ivy Leagues especially. My essays were well written, guys. My grades were decent. My SAT scores were probably a little low for the schools. But once again, guys, I think there is, without a doubt, a component of luck and probability both ways. There are probably a ton of overqualified students that get denied and underqualified students that get in. Not to say that I'm either of those two, but I think you do have to account probability, diversity, socioeconomic diversity, ethnic, racial, gender diversity, a lot of things to consider for these schools. So I wouldn't take it personally if you don't get in like myself, but I think there are some strategic, tactical errors that a lot of people make, including myself to an extent, that you guys can learn from throughout this video. I really hope this helped you guys. Please remember to like and subscribe below. Have a great day, folks. Continue pursuing whatever you're trying to pursue. Go get them, guys.